Welcome back to the channel. This is the Homeschool Dev. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you feel so, if you feel like doing so, because I am attempting to bring value to individuals with this particular content, pour into individuals who are receiving housing choice vouchers and may be under tenant-based rental agreements. And even if you're not receiving those type of services, you may know someone so you can pass this information along. I advocate for not only myself and my family, but I do it for the 2.3 million people across the United States who are currently under these contracts. So I had to advocate for myself because I couldn't find an attorney that would take my case. And I also reached out to several organizations that are deemed accessible to the public to advocate um, for individuals that are in situations like mine. But I found out that they were, not willing to, you know, go all out for me. And so therefore I was forced to, um, with no experience, become a pro se litigant, research different laws and case studies, and I learned how to file motions and pleadings, affidavits, and have made several court appearances and also appealed several cases that I have um, didn't agree with to higher courts. And so um, I started a subreddit page. It's called Our Unhoused Neighbors. Please feel free to visit it when you get an opportunity. I started this page to document what I was going through because actually I was posting it on other subreddits and they kept deleting my content. And so uh, I decided to start my own subreddit. The post that I was making on other subreddit pages were receiving a lot of views. Um, Maybe there were emails sent to the moderators requesting that my content be deleted because they didn't want this information to go out to the public. But this subreddit will give you some background information of my legal battles that that have been going on for since 2023 of June. And so I hope you find this interesting, and I hope that you can, understand why it's important at the end of the day when you can't find legal representation or someone to advocate for you. You have to take on these battles yourself in order to protect what's valuable to you. And what's valuable to me is my family and our well-being and our health. And I am currently staying in a shelter for families. I've been here 3 months. We've been homeless for more than 3 months, but I continue to fight nevertheless. So I'm going to read the subreddit and give you some insight on what we're going through. Um, the title is History in the Making. Jerry Smith's tenant-based rental agreement case could set legal precedent. The Court of Appeals hold the potential to make history as it reviews Jerry Smith's groundbreaking case involving the tenant-based rental agreement, better known as the TBRA contract. Despite the critical role TBRA agreements play in housing programs across the nation. No similar case has reached the higher courts before. Smith's fight for justice not only challenges systemic failures in housing programs, but also seeks to establish a legal precedent for holding organizations accountable. Why the Court of Appeals is crucial for TBRA cases: uncharted legal territory. Tenant based rental agreements have never been scrutinized at the appellate level, leaving a gap in legal precedents for housing disputes. This case has the opportunity to define the legal framework for TBRA agreements, potentially impacting future cases nationwide. Ensuring accountability. Appeals court focus on procedural fairness and legal interpretations, which could highlight inconsistencies in the Supportive Housing Coalition of New Mexico's defense. The Supportive Housing Coalition of New Mexico is who I filed a claim against. By challenging the Supportive Housing Coalition of New Mexico's claims, Smith aims to set a new standard for how housing organizations manage TBRA agreements and responds to tenant concerns. The wider implications. A ruling from the Court of Appeals could establish clarity on how TBRA agreements are enforced and interpreted, benefiting thousands of tenants in similar housing programs. And from my researches, it would benefit 2.3 million people. So there's value in this content. Please pass it along. The case could influence housing policies and hold organizations accountable for mismanagement and non-compliance with HUD regulations. In my previous videos, I informed the public that these organizations and HUD is not regulating the TBRA contracts because they're non HUD tenant based rental agreements. Tenant based rental agreements also exist in the Section 8 program, but in that program, by HUD regulating it, you have an advocate for you and someone that you can complain to that would go and investigate what is, you know, going on with your situation. In a non-HUD tenant-based rental agreement, that's not the case. And that's why I had to go out and advocate for myself because I experienced deflection after deflection after deflection, no matter who I complained to, politicians, attorneys, the Office of Civil Rights, fair housing. They all deflected my experience with what I'm going through, and they deflected it by saying that they didn't have jurisdiction over the matter. Jerry Smith's fight for justice, armed with emails, audio recordings, and program documentation, Smith's appeals challenges Supportive Housing Coalition of New Mexico's claims that he was not in the tenant based rental agreement program, which they had stated that I wasn't in the program. Uh, his perseverance underscores the importance of tenants advocating for their rights, especially when faced with deflection and denial from housing organizations. That's typical because in my case, I made a complaint about inhabitable living conditions, mold issues, high levels of mold, right? Structural damage, water damage, electrical damage, which are serious. and hazards to my family's health. And when I complained about it, they retaliated against me and terminated the voucher. I guess that comes with the territory, but I'm fine with that. But I'm just not going to let the organization treat me and my family like that and not go all out and advocate for myself on behalf of my family. And no matter who rejects me and states that they can't help or it's not in their jurisdiction, sometimes you have to, you know, advocate and be strong and resilient for a cause that you believe in. So, in the conclusion in my Reddit uh, post, Jerry Smith case represents a turning point for housing justice. If successful, it could pave the way for stronger tenant protections and greater accountability in housing programs across the country. The Court of Appeals now has the opportunity to make history by addressing an issue that has long been overlooked, ensuring fairness and justice for the countless families like my family, the Smith family. Once again, I'm not only doing this for my family, I'm doing it for the 2.3 million people that are housed by homeless uh, housing voucher agencies that service that demographic with these types of contracts. If you enjoy this topic and if you know anyone who is experiencing hardships from these type of organizations that service housing voucher TBRA contracts, please leave a reply in the comments below. And I look forward to uh, the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Once again, this is the Homeschool Dev, and I'll see you in the next video.